Hello, welcome to this presentation on the Alabama Report Card as it specifically pertains to DeKalb County Schools. We're going to get into an in-depth look and try to understand how the report card is created. What does it mean for DeKalb County Schools? What sort of demographics do we need to look at? What subpopulations do we need to understand in order to address the needs of our school system? This is a requirement both by federal and state law that the state give you this information. It's available on their website. The report card is created from specific indicators: academic achievement, academic growth, chronic absenteeism, college and career readiness indicators, graduation rates, and progress in English language proficiency. It is important to note that these are viewed differently depending on if your school does not have a grade 12 or does have a grade 12. A K-3 elementary school wouldn't need to think about graduation rate or college and career readiness indicators, but a K-12 high school would look at those things. So real quickly, academic achievement, it is created by looking at Scantron data for grades 3 through 8, the Alabama Alternate Assessment, and then also the ACT given in the 11th grade. These are the current sources of data for academic achievement, and they could change in the future if the state changed what it was using. Academic growth uses the same one, except it doesn't use AAA to look at individual student growth. Chronic absenteeism is every student who misses more than 15 days, whether those absences are excused or unexcused. That's an important one for parents to understand, that chronic absenteeism can occur even if the absences are excused. College career readiness indicator, we're going to talk about it a little bit more deeply later on, but it is talking about whether or not students are prepared for college or career. Graduation rate, one you're familiar with probably, looks at students who graduate in a timely fashion from high school in that 4-year period from 9th through 12th grade. Progress in English language proficiency uses the Access 2.0 test to determine whether or not those English language learners are moving through at an appropriate pace and that they're getting the support that they need. Each of these indicators is weighted differently and depends on whether or not your school has a grade 12 or does not have a grade 12. If it does not have a grade 12, then academic growth and academic achievement are the two highest categories. If it does have a grade 12, then graduation rate is the highest, followed by academic growth and academic achievement. All of the data is collected at the school and district level. It is uploaded into portals, and then those portals are sent to the state, and the state uses that to create the report card. So this is the portals that are used: the assessment portal, cohort portal, and student data portal, where all that data is loaded in. If you'll notice in the college and career readiness indicator portal, there are different ways for students to earn that mark on that diploma that they've checked it off that they're college or career ready, which is important for the school district. They can earn a benchmark score on any ACT subtest. They can earn a qualifying score on AP or IB exam. They can enlist in the military. They can earn an approved college or post-secondary credit. That would be your dual enrollment courses. They can earn silver or higher on the ACT work keys, which is given in the 12th grade. And they can earn an approved industry credential, which that has to do with career tech courses. And that's one that we really want to look at, see if we can do something about. There are several examples that are available on the State Department's website, so that will help you understand if you want to look at it. But if you'll notice, a lot of information up on these pages. But if you'll read down in the fine print, you will be able to understand. We're going to look at the major parts of DeKalb counties. So first of all, the score, a 78, grade C, not exactly where we want to be, but it is higher than we were before. And we'll see here that academic growth, 96.4, shows that we are making improvements. But if you look, academic achievement, 57.92, we've got a long ways to go. Our graduation rate at 91, our college career readiness at 67.71. Again, that's an area that we think that we can do something about. Chronic absenteeism, 19.29. That's probably a lot higher than we'd like to see it. And then progress in English language proficiency at 13.3. And this is an area that we really got to look a little closer. When you're on this screen, there are places for you to go and look deeper at those subpopulations. There's a lot of information to be had here. You can see the demographics DeKalb County is primarily white, followed by American Indian, followed by other categories. But the ethnicity, if you look at Hispanic Latino, 30.5% when they captured this data is how many was in DeKalb County. Well, let's look at it in a different format. As I told you before, this information is entered into portals, and so this is kind of what it looks like before it goes into the report card setting. You'll see of the 8,829 students we have currently in DeKalb County, 31% are Hispanic Latino ethnicity. If you'll look over here, and you'll find that 15% of all of our students are English learners. So that tells us that we have a significant subpopulation of students who have specific needs. You'll also see in our special education population that it's 11.69. So those are another group of students that we want to look at closely. When we go back to our academic achievement category and we click on that subpopulation, it brings this breakdown and tells us which students were proficient by percentage. Notice, looking at our subpopulation data that we talked about before, that Hispanic Latino group, only 37% were proficient in the accountability indicator. Only 29 if they were considered to be English learners, and 25% of students with disabilities. So we have some very specific subpopulations that we want to look at. And we also ask ourselves the question is where are we standing? Are we growing in those areas? Are we decreasing? Is this a problem that's going to increase? Is this a need that's going to be there tomorrow? Last 4 years, everything's pretty level. We have a slight decrease in total population of students, very, very slight. Our Hispanic Latino population over the last 4 years has grown just a slight amount. Our special ed in the green, it's pretty much stayed the same, and that's what we expect it to do. But the EL population is actually moving at a little bit of a higher trajectory than our Hispanic Latino population increases. And specifically at 2016 to 2017, we start to see that become more prominent. Access testing changed at the end of 2016, and at that time it made it more difficult for students to exit out of the program, and so we've seen more students staying in, and so that's another area that we want to look at. When we look at our population, just total number of students across our district and also districts of similar size, and also maybe the two on the end, Fort Payne City and Jackson County, are neighboring school districts, and so we wanted to see what's going on in their school districts. And we see something very interesting in DeKalb County. Now this is looking at a 20-year period, so from left to right it's moving closer to the present. So in DeKalb County, after 2003-2004, there was a significant population jump to 2008-2009. In that 5-year period, we went from being a similar size to Jackson County schools to being the size of Decatur City and Etowah County schools. And the other systems really didn't show that kind of trend. So we ask ourselves, what happened? Well, if you look at the Hispanic Latino enrollment trends over the same 20-year period, it becomes really evident. DeKalb County from 2003-2004 to 2008-2009 had a substantial jump in our Hispanic population, which means this is an area that we need to be concerned about, an area we need to be working on. We looked at also, where are we putting our dollars? Where does this money go, right? So per pupil expenditures is how much money you receive from either local, state, or federal. And you'll see DeKalb County, $10,286 per student is not the highest. Jackson County is actually at $11,400. And actually Fort Payne City is at $9,547. That's probably something we didn't anticipate. You'll notice that the students living in poverty here is pretty much the same. Fort Payne's a little bit and a little bit higher percentage. Etowah's a little bit lower, but for the most part, the school systems are all pretty close. When we take that same information, how much we're spending per student, and then we compare it to the A through F or the report card, and we compare it to the academic achievement, so this is standardized tests, we ask ourselves, is there a correlation? In other words, Jackson County scored an 82, but yet they were spending the most per pupil. But they didn't score the highest of the systems listed here. Fort Payne scored the highest with 85, but they spend less per pupil. If you look at the academic achievement, DeKalb County scored the lowest at 57.92, but we're not the lowest in expenditures per pupil. So we ask ourselves, okay, then what does that mean? We know we have these subpopulations. We know that we have the funding is pretty level with the systems that are near us. And so this is what we've analyzed, and this is kind of our final findings. One, with a score of 78, we know we have work to do. We're glad to improve, but we have more work to do. We know that some specific needs exist in the special education and EL subpopulations. We know that with an academic achievement indicator score of 57.92 that there is need for growth in core instruction. That's all students, not just subpopulations, that there is growth needs across the board. So where are we going as a district? Well, the district has created a strategic plan that's developing a targeted professional development plan. We have very specific professional development that's going on to try to teach not only core classroom and general classroom teachers proper methods, but also that we target these teachers who teach these specific subgroups to make sure that their needs are being met. The district went through district-wide accreditation, and through that process is going to develop an instructional framework. So we have a plan, and the PD that we're doing is working towards the plan so that we can measure the results to find out whether or not we're doing the right things. We're recruiting specifically, we've hired nearly every bilingual teacher that's applied, I believe, bilingual and highly qualified teachers to try to meet our students' needs. We've also created some instructional improvement teams, both grade and subject teams, and then our newest team is the EL improvement team. So when we ask ourselves, are we doing the right things? With the money and the funds that we have, are we doing the right things? Well, we're providing extra instructional support, extra instructional resources. We're providing additional times for those students to work on their needs. So we believe, yes, we are doing the right things. We just need to make sure that what we're doing is working and is targeted specifically to those students who need it the most. Our goal is to get all students prepared for college and or career, to meet the ESSA standards and the state standards, and to provide an equitable education to all students. I believe in DeKalb County we are working hard towards that goal, and I believe we're going to make it. But we got to continue on progressing and being very specific with the work that we're doing. A lot of work has already been done. That 5-year period where we saw that huge jump in the number of EL students that we were having to work with, our teachers improved. I believe our communities now understand the work that we're trying to achieve. We want them involved and to understand the work that's going on. And so I believe DeKalb County Schools is doing a good job of trying to get every student ready, no matter what subpopulation it is. We've identified that the needs are there, and we believe we have a plan and strategy to go forward. So I hope this helps you understand the report card. Again, you can go to the alsde.edu website, and you can look at it for yourself and look more closely. Be sure to check off those samples and read the information around those so that you can understand what exactly it's saying. We have a lot of information there available for you, and it takes time to go through that information, but we hope this has helped you understand it a little better, and we hope that in the future we'll see DeKalb County Schools meet the needs of all students. Thank you.